So Kelly and I are going to talk about a project that I am not equipped to do myself. But Kelly is a better man than me at this kind of stuff, so I am curious to see where he stands with it. So we're looking at somebody turning a Game Boy Advanced SP specifically, into a mini arcade cabinet, which again, way above my skill level. How about you, sir?
So 100% agree, better man. But not necessarily one that could pull off what Retro Stash Repairs did. There you check their YouTube channel be linked to in the description. This was crazy impressive. So I could do parts of this, but as we've both established on past shows, when the next step in your project is get out a soldering gun, I'm out. Particularly if I'm heating up solder on a PCB board to take something off of it to then kind of replace it. No, not gonna happen. Um, but so no, I was like I said, there were elements of this. I could probably pull the case off. Although I mean, he cut it. He in we're including a link to the video. He did most of the stuff out of a kind of a hobby wood kind of stuff to work with and painted that. And so using a lot of Dremel and stuff like that to do it. I probably would have 3D printed those pieces uh, just because I'm lazy and, um, and I like kind of designing that kind of stuff. But this is crazy. I mean, the end product is sensational. I think he had a couple, you know, things he hadn't anticipated happening towards the end, but I thought it ended up being fantastic. What did you what impressed you the most of this build?
I actually really like seeing these types of videos. I don't seek them out necessarily, whether it's something that's retro gaming oriented. Obviously, Kelly and I are both really into the retro gaming stuff. But whenever I see people kind of like building things or modifying things like that, there's a certain interest level because what always catches my attention is things I can't do. And there's a lot of things I can't do. So there's an endless supply of entertainment for me on YouTube. But this kind of thing I absolutely can't do. As soon as you mentioned soldering gun, you were so far above my pay grade on that kind of stuff that you might as well just like this is magic. That's how this works. I cast a spell and this came out at the end. What's really interesting to me about this video is and Kelly and I have talked this is a little bit more backdoor volleyball for you guys, as the well-known saying goes. Um, Kelly and I have talked a little bit through like messages back and forth. I don't think we've said it on the show, but I would love at some point for us to make like a mini arcade that's slapdash focused, like with that image of you on the side. Now, whether we can make the pieces of it ourselves, like obviously put like a Raspberry Pi or something on the inside, but just for us to have for ourselves, I would love to have a mini slapdash arcade in the game room. So this kind of a project is very interesting to me. This isn't exactly what I'd be looking to do, but to be fair, none of it's something I'd be looking to do myself because I can't.
It it was impressive. I mean, and the things he did, um, you've got me thinking about the Slapdash arcade because I think it'd be cheap, but we are going to cheat. We are going to make sure one there'll be no soldering involved to the creation of
Oh
the
yeah.
game. That's
And
not
that's
going to
why I
happen.
said like just drop in like a Raspberry Pi or something, but
Yeah,
but make the case a slapdash mini arcade.
yeah, that could work. Yeah, and then just we'll have to think about the screen on that, but we'll get there. I think it'll be good. But yeah, it was super impressive. I mean, he took the D-pad and added a scale authentic joystick to it, which was crazy impressive on that. Moved the buttons up so that they were available on the actual control deck of it, which was super cool. The only I don't want to call it a misstep because I think everything he did was great. And he actually did move some LEDs, which again involved heating up the board, taking the LEDs off. And I was like, no,
Magic.
not gonna do that. Um, But he just pulled them up to the control deck so you kind of could get that same status that you can get from the Game Boy. But I mean, if anything ever deserved a lit marquee, it was what he was building, and that's what I was we're watching, and he ended up putting that front faceplate on as wood. I was like, oh shoot! I was hoping I was going to see him. Here's how I'm going to do a light up marquee because he certainly would know how to get an LED up and going, which I've been looking at some LED stuff trying to figure it out. And that's not easy. Some of those things to have that. Well, this is the capacitor or resistor you need for this color, and here's how you do the math on how many you can have. And I was like, I buy them at the
We were
hardware
doing a
store.
SlapDash mini arcade. I think, and this is again, you're much more knowledgeable of this stuff than me. If it was 3D printed and we went with like a translucent color, can we just put an LED light on the top of the cabinet?
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, but we would not be wiring it. We would buy. Hey,
No,
here's this thing you put a battery in, and an LED lights up. Great on it.
no, I nailed it.
So yeah, so that'll be the thing. But yeah, we'll gonna think about that. So we'll keep you posted and maybe on some future build. But if we do that, I mean, and this was, I mean, just props and nothing but praise for it's super impressive what he's done. So might have sounded like I was a little critical. I was like, why didn't you do a light up marquee? So that wasn't critical. So when I say next thing, it's not critical either, even though it might sound a little critical. And that is, um, he was all in on, I'm going to show you every step I took to make this. And when he did, he showed us every step. So for my personal viewing preferences, if you're cutting some stuff out of wood that's symmetrical and there's like two sides to the cabinet and you cut the first one out, you don't need to show me you cutting the second one out. I've seen that movie. I've got it. Move on to another part because it was uh, ran a little long and it was uh, and he sped it up so that it was going through pretty quick. But as every part he cut out, I think you basically saw. And I was starting to get motion sickness after a while. The Dremel's flying everywhere and all of that. But so when our slapdash build comes together, and you see that, you will see much uh, edited versions of the build. But it'll be pretty edited anyway, because somehow we're figuring out how to say, okay, how do I buy a thing that I can stick in another thing and then wipe my hands and go slapdash?
Built it.
So that's what we're good. If you got tips for us on how we can low effort, minimal cost, great result, send it our way because we're all about that.
Yeah, I think essentially we would be looking at just we're really just making a case for a Raspberry Pi
I think so.
that's slapdash oriented, but that
Which
could work. Yeah.
I've done. So I've made a case for Raspberry Pi. So it all Star Warsy. So I think we can. I think that can be achieved. And it's just we'll have to sort out the monitor approach. Because the one thing, because we owe it to you, we're going to give you something better than the Game Boy screen in terms of brightness. So that part we're going to need to have to sort out. But I think I think we can do that. Kind of thinking potentially an old cell phone might actually. Uh,
Well, they make small monitors for Raspberry Pis that you can order right off of Amazon.
there you go.
Just to make it even less work. That's,
I like it. I like
and
it.
Kelly's like taking apart cell phones. I'm like, whoa, they just sell them cheap.
I didn't say take it apart. It was more going to be a slide the cell phone in
Oh, that makes sense too.
and
Yeah.
get it power. So, but we'll see. All right. Well,
Lower effort.
we'll workshop Slapdash Mini Arcade offline. Sorry, folks, but you need to check this video out because it's crazy. Did the he 3D printed or he regular printed on some vinyl the centipede authentic side art and cover for it. Did great. Had a little spot out the back that you can put in the cartridges um, to play different games on it. Really well done. And so it's not the newest video in the world, but it's crazy cool. If you haven't seen it, we got a link down in the description. Check it out. For other finds like this in the future, like and subscribe to Bog Panda, and you'll find out where we end up on this SlapDash thing, which I'm sure you're all dying to hear more about.
They
And
love the backdoor volleyball.
they do. It's how, who doesn't? And they like, subscribe, hit that bell, and then listen to Hard No. It's the world's shortest podcast. What more? We're asking for 1 minute of your time. I mean, collectively, to click on the subscribe and then go watch a Hard No, you're off our site in a minute. Now, if you'd like to stay for hours and increase our watch time, we're not opposed to that. If you want to just leave it on, just find a playlist and let it play. Go ahead.
Bog Panda.